With warm weather on the horizon, now's the time to start thinking about dusting off some of your fresh warm weather scents. Or now is the time to start adding some new ones to your collection. Depending on what it is, whenever you get into the prime season for that particular type of scent, if it's one that is in really high demand, generally it's going to sell pretty quick. And we see that happen all the time, and happened a lot over winter time with a couple in particular that I can remember when it comes to discounters, and that would be like a Spice Bomb Extreme, a Zara Wanted by Night. If you actually go back and look, the bulk majority of the time, those were sold out. They would pop back in stock a lot. I would send an email out. I would post on my community tab. You guys would scoop them up, sold out again, rinse and repeat. Now they're a little bit more steady because we're through that season. But remember, with some of those hot summer scents, a similar thing may happen. So now's the time to kind of get the jump on adding some of these new fresh ones to your collection. However, this video is with a little bit of a twist. We're going to be looking at 10 fresh warm weather scents that actually last a long time. I know, both of those in the same sentence. Unfortunately, the fact of the matter is, a lot of times when you get into your fresher ones, they're generally going to be weaker. A lot of them, not all, but a lot, do come in at an eau de toilette, and that doesn't necessarily mean anything. There can be some EDTs that are very strong that you'll see in a minute, but also a lot of times with that eau de toilette, it'll just be a weaker scent all the way around. Not the case with these. So if you want to feel like you're getting the best bang for your buck, your dollar is going the furthest that it can because you're getting great quality, great performance, great smell, even great compliments and mass appeal, you're going to want to check out any of these 10 or all of them. So I'll drop links to these down below as we work through this video. If I reference prices at all, it's going to be on discounters. I've got a mailing list you can sign up to, like I had mentioned. Anytime something rare, discontinued, or hard to find comes into stock, I send out an email notification so you can purchase it. Or just anytime something that is a crazy good deal comes into stock, similar thing. Recently, Y Eau de Parfum 100 ml testers came in stock for $80, which is the lowest I've ever seen that one for. It's things like that where you want to be on that list so you can take advantage of them. Let's get things kicked off with Narciso Rodriguez Bleu Noir Eau de Toilette Intense. I've actually gotten really good performance out of this one consistently. It's got musk, citruses, and a nice little make-believe ice accord, which you obviously can't smell, but it does allude to this crisp freshness that this one does give off. Out of the entire line, this is the freshest one. You get into the eau de toilette, the eau de parfum, and even the parfum. That one introduces some iris, but the others are heavier on the woods, even some cardamom, a lot of musk as well, aromatics, but this one by far is going to be the most summer fresh oriented. Just because it's an eau de toilette and just because it's a relatively budget-friendly scent, right around $47 to $50, doesn't mean that it's weak. Again, like I had mentioned, consistently, I get good performance out of this one. This is the type of thing that you can confidently apply in the morning, and you're pretty much going to be set and you won't have to think about it again. Next up, we have L'Eau d'Issy Pour Homme Intense by Issey Miyake. I've talked about this one a few times. You don't see it a ton, and I think that's a shame because it is really well done, and I think it's one of the better offerings from the brand. And yes, I know they have a ton of them, but when we're talking the fresher ones, this is the way to go. I would take this over the original any day. I would take it over a lot of the other fresh ones as well. Not to mention, also one of the most affordable, and it has great performance. There is a lot to be said about this. So it's a L'Eau d'Issy. It's all about the yuzu, but this one adds in some incense, which gives it obviously a little bit of a smoky feel. You're getting some other musks, citruses, some aromatics. You know, it's the L'Eau d'Issy DNA, but it's much more interesting, much more unique overall with increased performance. And this is, to me, is a lot more fun to wear. It's one that I actually gravitate towards, where the original is something I would never think to wear at all. This one really brings a lot to the table, and especially at this price point, it's one you should check out. Next up, Polo Bleu Parfum. So the Polo Blue line is expanding pretty much every year, it feels like. They've got a lot of these now, but this is just good old Polo Blue Parfum. So legitimately a follow-up to Polo Blue, just in parfum form, which I really like. It's got orange, clary sage, oak, and lavender. It's richer, it's stronger, but it is still fresh, clean, out of the shower. Just ultimately the embodiment of freshness. I mean, you really cannot offend anyone. You can't go wrong with this. This type of thing can be used for any situation at all. And given that it's a Parfum, it holds up big time in the performance category overall. You get pretty good projection out of it, but most notably, the longevity is fantastic. Just because it's a Parfum doesn't mean that all of a sudden it's, you know, a winter scent or something. This is still very easy to pull off when it's warm outside. Not going to give you any issues. There is a little bit more depth to this one than maybe your traditional warm weather summertime scent. You know, the oak, the aromatics, they do come through, but it still isn't crazy. I mean, I have no problem wearing Eau de Parfum and, you know, the Invictus Aqua style scents in the summertime, and those are pretty sweet. You know, it's just all about how you modulate your sprays and how you carry yourself and how you wear it and what you prefer. But for me, this, no issues. Next up, Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Eau Intense. It's got sea notes, amberwood. There's some grapefruit in here as well. Kind of has a saltiness, you know, a little bit of a blue kind of ambroxany tinge. A little bit of a very photorealistic sea note or aquatic accord or things of that nature. Really well done. One of the best flankers. I've always said it, but they kind of started to go downhill quickly after this. You know, the original did very well. This one came out, did incredibly well, probably still doing big to this day, big numbers. And then they started to go downhill. That was until Light Blue Forever and Light Blue Italian Love kind of spiked back up. But everything between those and this was just on a constant decline. They really weren't that good to me. So I think if you're wanting to get one of the best in the entire lineup, it's going to be either this or Forever Italian Love. Take your pick. They're both pretty similar. So really, you can get the best of the line for, you know, $100, 50 each, roughly, somewhere around in there, maybe give or take, maybe 110, 115 total. But you know, it really doesn't cost you a ton of money to get two fantastic freshies from the iconic light blue line. I just happen to choose this one because I think in most instances, it'll edge out Forever Italian Love performance-wise, although those do very well. This one a bit better overall, but those still probably could hold up in the video if I really wanted to. But this one here, great performance all the way around and very well suitable for summertime. Aqua di Gio Eau de Parfum. Fantastic. One of my favorite flankers. I mean, the amount of excitement I had building up to this one was just immense. You know, as soon as I saw it announced, I kind of thought it was Photoshop at first, to be honest, or I thought it was just fake. Because, and you're probably like, why? They have so many flankers at this point, but I don't know. I just wasn't expecting a standalone Eau de Parfum flanker release this late on. You know, well over 20 years later, they just now decided to put out an EDP. Generally, it goes Eau de Toilette, Eau de Parfum, Parfum, right? And they kind of did it out of order a little bit. Nothing wrong with that. I'm glad we have it. I think it's cool, but it was kind of a surprise to me, you know. I have to say, though, it is really well done and kind of takes some of the best versions of each flanker and puts it into one. So you get that original DNA, you get a little bit of Profondo from the mineral notes, kind of clary sage, aromatics, and the orange. You can even get a little bit of a smoky depth from Profumo, you know, so it kind of takes some of those and combines it into one. Ultimately, though, it's a grown-up version of Aqua di Gio. It legitimately smells like Aqua di Gio 20 years later. Wearing Aqua di Gio EDT in high school, wearing Aqua di Gio Eau de Parfum out of high school, presumably now with a family and career and even kids. You know, this really just does smell grown up, and it also has great performance, which is the whole point of this video. Parfums de Marly Sedley's also one that does very well on my skin, has ever since I got this one in. Also one of my favorite fresh offerings from Parfums de Marly. Now, this could be a tie situation. Latava, Mahir Legacy, I think is what it's called. Just did a video on it. I'm completely blanking on it. The names of these really start to mess me up. Yeah, I got it right. I mean, I probably pronounced it wrong, but the idea is the same. This one, Mahir Legacy by Latava. Clone of Sedley. Much more affordable, mid-$30 to $40 range, you know, 200 plus. Take your pick. That being said, this DNA is fantastic. The Latava performs great as well. This one performs great, lasts a long time, very refreshing, great compliment getter, very versatile for the summer heat. Dior Higher Energy. So probably not the Dior you were expecting to see in this video, but it is the one that I wanted to focus on. You know, you don't see a whole lot about these fragrances, higher and higher energy, and I think that's a shame. This one's got juniper berries, melon, pineapple, and grapefruit here. So much more aromatic, kind of following a trend here somewhat with this video. I've kind of been featuring a lot of those because I think they have a lot of utility to them, the aromatic citruses and aromatic fruity scents and fresh ones, things of that nature. And this is another one that kind of fits into that category. Has a little bit of a more mature, refined feel. You know, this is nothing new. It's been out for some time now, so kind of has, I don't want to say a dated smell, but a older school feel. Almost kind of in a similar category to a Chanel Platinum Egoiste. Kind of has that similar barbershop-y but soapy clean smell. Ultimately goes in a different direction though, with all of the fruits and citruses, and that melon accord really makes this one stand out. Ultimately, it's a good performing, long-lasting, unique warm weather scent. Terre d'Hermès Eau Givrée. So this is their current newest flanker, taking a replacement to Eau Très Fraîche, which was discontinued due to the restrictions of the IFRA, which are continuing to get tighter and tighter each year, it seems like. So a lot of fragrances went through a similar thing where they either reformulated them or discontinued them. Why Eau de Toilette, the original, was discontinued and then re-released a whole entire new scent, and they reformulated it. Some brands will just kind of be sneaky about it and just reformulate it and not tell anyone. Some will do what YSL did, where they kind of attempted to relaunch it, so we kind of knew something was up. Some brands will just straight up discontinue the old one and say, okay, just quit it, you know, can it, and then make a new one. And that's what Hermès did, and I kind of respect them for that the most. I love Eau Très Fraîche, don't get me wrong, but this one I think I might like a bit better, so I can't be too sad about it. This one's got citron, juniper berries, some woods in here, some metallic notes. Very much is that Terre d'Hermès DNA, you know, the metallic woody DNA, but with a nice bright freshness. Even more bright and summery than Eau Très Fraîche in my opinion. A great replacement, a great performer. Next up, Azarochrome Extreme. It's all about the orange, the cashmere, and the juniper berries. Some sea notes in here, kind of profondo smelling, but with, you know, a little bit of its own character. Ultimately, it's a great one for the summer heat. Smells amazing, even great in spring as well, just warm weather in general, I suppose. And also, it's got great performance. Coming in at, you know, less than half the price of a Profondo or any Aqua de Jo and just a lot of other fragrances on the market in general. You know, it's right around $40 or so, 40, maybe 44 sometimes, right in that range. So competitive price. It's an eau de parfum. Again, the performance is great. Brings a lot to the table for just a really nice entry-level price, even though the scent itself is kind of beyond entry-level in the sense that even as someone who is a seasoned collector and has smelled tons of things, you will still probably appreciate this one. The quality even holds up really well for the price too. And we're going to finish the video with another Dior, actually. This is, in my opinion, the best of the line. And it took a little while to get there. You know, the line is a little bit weird. I'll just go ahead and reveal it. Dior Homme Sport 2021. So everything else before this now is officially discontinued. The only way you can buy Dior Homme Sport 2017, 2012, and 2008 would be gray market, mostly eBay now. And prices on those are not going to be friendly. So those are all essentially, they're gone. They're a piece of history now. I have them all. I think for the most part, they're all really good. 2017 was my least favorite. 2008, 12, a couple of my favorites. So, you know, those are kind of irrelevant now. But good news is, I think this is the best one. I've spent a lot of time with it. I've worn it a lot in a relatively short amount of time. It took me, you know, kind of years and months spread out of wearing the other sports, whereas this one I kind of was hooked on it for a while, and I got a lot of wearing in on a short amount of time, and it's become one that I really enjoy a lot. It's got lemon, aldehydes, elemi, and woods. It's going to be the most mature and classic Dior Homme Sport of them all, but it's also going to be the least sporty. You know, it does have some woods, some richness, a spiciness that the others don't have. However, it is still a great fresh scent that brings a lot to the table. It's unique. It doesn't smell like any of the others. Very much an original. Alrighty guys, that's going to do it for me. 10 fresh warm weather scents that actually last a long time. So if you want to get your money's worth, check these out. Links will be down below. Deals will be going out to my mailing list. If you want to get on that and have access to some amazing prices, some rare, hard to find things, do it. Completely free. You're not going to regret it. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.